Hey, what's up everyone, Damascus here, taking over Roundup this week for the Arc World Tour Finals Roundup. After Tekken, Street Fighter and Dragon Ball Fighters, DNF Duel and Guilty Gear Strive were the one to close their season in style this weekend in Burbank, California. So without further ado, let's dive in the action for today's Roundup Arc World Tour edition. Two games were played at Arc World Tour Finals, DNF Duel and Guilty Gear Strive. Both had the same qualifying format. 8 tournaments around the world where only the winner qualifies. One exception was CEO Taku for DNF Duel, where the top 2 spots qualified. This came down to 8 players facing each other to get a piece of the total $100,000 prize pool. Okay, first things first. Arc World Tour Finals decided to say no to the classic esports arms crossed pose. Instead, every player got to act in a cool little intro scene with their main, and the results were amazing. The first intros, or the players of the day, were Lost Soul against Kikyo-chan. While some may think that Lost Soul had something to prove here, as he technically qualified on a second place rather than a tournament win, those who follow DNF know his dedication to Dragon Knight, as he won his match 3-1. Up next was a match a lot described as Grand Finals before Grand Finals. The run back from Versus Fighting Grand Finals, Goichi versus Mystic Smash. But this time, no Swiftmaster or Hitman, as Goichi, the favorite of the tournament, now plays Crusader, and Mystic Smash is set on Vanguard. And the set was as exciting as we expected, with Mystic taking game 1, then Goichi rapidly taking the next 2 games. Mystic managed to bring this into a game 5, but unfortunately for the UK player, the final game was a dominant win from Goichi, moving forward in winners.
But got the Kara Spears! The Kara Spears in the air! And that's gonna take it for Goichi!
The next set was Frosty Fausting's winner Kubo, bringing Grappler to the competition, against South Korea Yu Sun-cha and his Ghost Blades. An exciting set saw Yu Sun-cha taking a drawn-out game 1 with seemingly endless Ghost Blade pressure, and had Kubo bringing all the Grappler loops to make it back to 2-2.
Kubo from the brink of defeat!
Unfortunately for our Grappler friends, the final game very much looked like the first one, with a ton of time spent in the corner blocking Ghost Blade's pressure.
Magic skill attack, and that should be it.
Yu Sun-cha moves forward 3-2. The last match of round 1 was Greece's K-Top, who qualified thanks to a second place at the mix-up, versus Nanpon's Striker. And before it even started, let's say it, Nanpon's intro might be my favorite. Look at the final pose, this man is serious about Striker. And well, after a close game 1 finishing on an extremely clutch timeout in Nanpon's favor, a dominant 3-0 unfolded, as K-Top's Hitman could not find a single solution against Nanpon's overwhelming pressure. On the loser side, Kikyo-chan took it 3-0 over Mystic Smash, who even switched back to Hitman mid-set to no success. A surprising performance from one of the favorites of this tournament. Kubo also dispatched K-Top 3-0, effectively giving a good old 0-2 to all of Europe. Going back to the winner's side, Lost Soul's Dragon Knight might have been preparing for Goichi's Crusader, but he ended up having to face good old Swiftmaster. Goichi's original main, the one he earned his qualification with, gave him a convincing 3-0 win over Lost Soul. Yu Sun-cha had to face Nanpon on the other side of this winner's bracket, and after taking game 1 and keeping it close until game 5, it was Nanpon who took the win 3-2 in final game, final round, after an extremely unfortunate drop from Yu Sun-cha. To the losers we go, with Yu Sun-cha taking it over Kikyo-chan 3-1, and then Kubo continuing his losers run 3-0. And top 4 ended up entirely Asian. 3 Japanese players, 1 South Korean player. In winners final, Goichi once again made quick work of his opponent, dispatching Nanpon 3-0 in a seemingly effortless win. At this point, the question was simple: who can even stop Goichi? Losers semi-final saw another dominant Japanese performance, with Kubo's Grappler earning his run back versus Yu Sun-cha 3-0.
Just to get tossed into the dirt!
Qualified to losers final, Kubo has not lost a single game in his losers run yet. But Nanpon was determined to get his run back versus Goichi though, as he ended up winning a quick 3-0 over Kubo in losers final, who ended up his run in 3rd place. And now, it was grand finals time. The favorite, Goichi, against one of the most exciting players to watch, Nanpon, eager for a run back after a very harsh loss in winners final. But in the end, Goichi was indeed way too strong.
Look at the damage and look at the life bar. This tournament may be over, and your champion of DNF Duel Arc World Tour 2022 is none other than the anime god himself, Goichi.
Winning Grand Finals 3-0 again to be crowned the DNF Duel World Champion. 3-3-0 wins in a row in winners bracket and an incredibly dominant display. I've definitely seen that kind of Goichi before in other games. What a champion! Later that night, DNF Duel devs took the stage to discuss upcoming plans about the game. While we won't see DNF Duel as a main game at EVO, there definitely are plans to keep going, as a quick gameplay clip of Spectre, the next DLC character, was shown, along with a few details on the new mechanics coming soon, and a full roadmap of the next season. While it remains unknown whether DNF Duel will be part of the next season of Arc World Tour yet, we can at least look forward to a lot of new content in summer.
We have not really had the kind of clash from between all the different regions in Guilty Gear Strive.
Done with DNF, it was now time for Guilty Gear Strive. All eyes were on an extremely stacked bracket, where it was difficult to find a clear favorite, mainly due to the lack of actual Asia versus rest of the world competition action in the game's competitive history. And the first face-off was France's Skill facing Gobao, who you might remember from the legendary Red Bull Kumite Grand Finals. Starting with Gold Lewis, Gobao could not find a solution against Skill's Soul. Switching to his other main Zato, he brought it back to Tutu and even offered himself 2 match points after taking round 1. And a disputed final game, final round, saw Skill forced to block a million Zato mix-ups in the corner until he found the one opening he needed to go back to mid-screen.
He put the oppose on top of him, tried to sneak in a command throw. Skill took to the skies and he backdashes. He converts the combo.
With a clutch backdash to avoid the command grab, Skill took the win 3-2. Second game of the day was Japan's Mochi versus Nubenheimer. While a lot of eyes were on Mochi, well known for his unique playstyle, Nubenheimer made this incredibly quick with a dominant 3-0, not even letting the Japanese player express himself once. Up next was TY versus Zando, in a very interesting game a lot of viewers were eager to watch. Ramlethal, considered absolute top tier in the West but not a massive threat in Asia, versus Giovanna, top tier in Asia but not really threatening in the West. An opposition of styles saw TY taking the win 3-1, making sure there still is Japanese representation in that winner's bracket. And the last match of round 1 was a heartbreaker. EVO champion Umisho had to face quite possibly the best player in the world when it comes to playing against Happy Chaos, Tempest. These two obviously faced a ton of times, who could forget Combo Breaker's Grand Finals? And man, it showed. An exciting set saw Tempest quickly go up 2, and Umisho then adapting to bring it back to 2-2, and to final game, final round after baiting Tempest's flash kick. The final round was an absolute nail-biter.
So close here. Alright, Mix, guess for game 10 does!
And Tempest is the one to close it with a tap 5D. On the loser side, Gobao had to face Mochi, and this time, no Gold Lewis to open the match as he immediately went for Zato. The exciting set went all the way to game 5, with Gobao once again offering himself 2 match points, but Mochi did not even flinch. The man was big chilling on his chair, looking right at home as he saved the 2 match points to move forward in losers brackets. The other losers side showdown was Zando versus Umisho. Both players have extensive experience against each other's character, so the set was guaranteed to be close, and man it was. Zando took the lead to a 2-1 situation, and then Umisho managed to come back to offer us another game 5. In a final game, final round situation, Zando goes for the absolute optimal finish, and good old Calvados into RC got all the damage necessary to close it, and send the EVO champ out 0-2. Back to the winner's side, it was France vs USA as Skill took on Nubenheimer. With a quick first 2 games, Nubenheimer looked very comfortable, but Skill managed to adapt and not only bring it back to 2-2, but also winning the entire set, saving 2 match points and blocking Nubenheimer's Hail Mary Super to close the set.
Punish perfectly baited, no chance to burst as he moves on to winners finals here.
The other side though was not a close one. TY opted for Chip to face Tempest, and that was an absolute speedrun, leaving Tempest himself speechless as the only thing he could tweet was a shocked face. Clinical play from TY, moving to winners final. On the loser side, Nubenheimer eliminated Zando 3-1, and Mochi eliminated Tempest 3-1. And just like on the DNF bracket, losers semi-final was a run back from round 1. But before that, we had to play winners final, Skill versus TY. With Skill currently playing Giovanna on the sides, that surely was a great opportunity for him to check if he could also hold his own against the best Giovanna in the world. And TY once again shows how ridiculous he is, taking it 3-1 over Skill despite the Frenchman's valiant efforts. On the loser side, Mochi had to play Nubenheimer. While his first match was incredibly dominant for Nubenheimer, the losers semi-final was the exact opposite. Dominant 3-0 for Mochi, who seemed completely comfortable in his losers run. Time for losers final, and a Soul Mirror? In top 3? In 2023? What a time to be alive. I can't even remember when's the last time I saw a Soul Mirror in any top 8. And the mirror this time was super exciting, with Mochi maybe thinking he closed it out with this wall break, but Skill's Magic Pixel was still on. The BRC confirm into clutch DP bait kept all hopes alive for Skill, who even landed the goal burst after, full of resources, but unfortunately, his anti-air traded and Mochi qualifies to grand finals.
Oh my god, that was so scary. The jump K, jump D, jump double jump, jump H for the kill, Mochi!
And to close the day, and showcase Japan's supremacy on Strive, TY was facing Mochi in grand finals. Mochi, on a huge losers run momentum, closed game 1, then game 2 pretty quickly. TY did his very best to come back, taking game 3, but this did not stop Mochi from resetting the brackets.
And just a neutral dust.
3-1 it was, and time for Shin Grand Finals. After the reset though, TY went immediately on the offensive, winning game 1, but this did not seem like it had any effect on Mochi, immediately leveling the set 1-1, and getting a perfect in the next round. TY felt the pressure increasing as Mochi's offensive plays were immaculate. Every single choice he made was the correct one, and TY was struggling to hold his own. 2-1, off to game 4, with TY taking the first round and an excellent start to round 2. The momentum finally was looking like it would go in TY's favor, but Mochi pulled out an incredible comeback, even finding the counter hit on TY's attempted offensive play. Tournament point for Mochi, and while this should be the single most tense moment in any player's career, Mochi laid back on his seat, landed one wild throw, into a second wild throw, into a third wild throw to win ARC World Tour Finals.
Your ARC World Tour 2022 World Champion!
What an incredible display of skill from the Japanese player. How can a man be so calm? A dominant losers run and a well-deserved victory for Mochi to close an exciting first competitive season of Guilty Gear Strive. And with another season of ARC World Tour announced, we know the grind won't stop anytime soon. And of course, couple announcements before closing the day, as we got to see the new Guilty Gear Strive character, Bedman? I'm not asking about the character, by the way. There is a question mark on the name. We therefore must always say Bedman instead of Bedman. It's time to be professional commentators. And at the end of the trailer, a very short teaser seemingly confirmed Asuka, the main antagonist of the series, being the next character. Man, that was a lot to wrap up. Guilty Gear Strive's first competitive season was absolutely incredible to follow, and I can't wait to see more, especially now with more and more players traveling. But as for now, Nature is healing, Japan is winning, Happy Chaos is an honest mid-tier, and we must bow down to our Japanese overlords because man, were they exciting to watch this weekend. Of course, the next big stop for Strive is EVO Japan, so make sure you follow Reversal because you know we'll drop the content you need on this one as well. But for now, if you're still here, make sure you like and subscribe, drop a comment, simply write Japan better. Simply go on the comment right now, like write Japan better, thank you, that's about all, because what else to say, Japan better. Thank you so much for watching the roundup today guys, Damascus signing off and we'll see you very soon on Reversal.